As I pondered, weak and weary, suddenly there came a tapping at my chamber door. In came a raven, perched on a bust of Pallas up above the door. La la is my raven, the very best raven in the world, the smartest raven, with the biggest vocabulary, the raven that the Hawaiians picked to be their housemate. Anyway, I finally got something on young friend of mine at work talked to another young man at work who said yes, his grandmother had told him that when she was a little girl, she went to a house of, these are all Hawaiian folks, she went to a house and it was like an A-frame house. And up in the very top of it was a large black bird that lived with grandma's grandma, I guess. Anyway, here's the first time I have heard Hawaiian remembrances that there was, as Captain Cook said, the most common house pet on the Kona coast, this large black bird. Quote the raven, nevermore. This raven is going to be again. He didn't disappear. He's still there. He's surviving. We're going to do a little more on him. Anyway, wonderful thing to have word of mouth, Hawaiian say yes. There it was, up on the top of the A-frame. Woo! Obviously my amakua. A funny thing, these three, of course, are stuffed crows. They're not alalas, which were bigger and smarter, but what wonderful companions they were. Wonderful companions. You still see them in the movies, that people had pet ravens all over the place. Now here's a funny thing. Since I've been working on the raven thing, these guys have slowly acquired a space in my working room. And out my front window there in those trees, strange thing, oftentimes minor birds come around, and these minor birds will sit down in the tree limbs here and twitter at me. And a couple of times, this is a royal poinciana tree out in the front yard, a couple times here they line up with my interior ravens. Minor birds are also corvid, that's why they're so smart. They're a subspecies of this big family, of which ravens are the very top. I hope you do well. I'm still working on the essential history of it, and I'll get back to you more as time goes on this. No, you got the right place. This is the Astrology Show. This is your astrologer, Rollin, living in Kona, trying to eke out a living, doing a few charts for my friends out there in Hawaii land, and hopefully educating you a little bit about astrology, which, gee, with lately I've learned so much, and so much of it has been a little disappointing. Like Ben Franklin said, shame to the age we live in, that they should so demean astrology. Anyway, don't let me rant. We got a job to do. What's happening in the sky mirror? We're going to do the first week in September 2015 and get through some details on it and see what's going on so you can better plan your next 10 days. So, main thing that's going on that I noticed is that there's a Mars-Venus conjunction. Yes, Mars and Venus. Now the first thing is Venus is going direct. She's stopping in the sky. And that's on the 5th of September at 10:30 p.m. Now you need to write this down someplace. The 5th, 10:30 p.m. If you want to see what Venus is like, you got to do it yourself. Yeah. And when she stops, oh boy, for the day or two before, just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Oh, sex, 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 and then comes down. Yes. Now, Ben Franklin said, when Mars and Venus in conjunction lie, young maids, whate'er is asked of you, deny. Now, the real conjunction is happening very soon here, a little before the station. And Monday night, the moon trines Mars and Venus. Monday night, the 31st of August, is one of the better times when Mars and Venus might not be too bad, but by golly, when they're conjunct, young maids, whate'er is asked of you, deny. I think it's because sex hurts, and it's too rough, and it's too fast, and it might be too full of violence here or something. But in this case, Venus, you know, is stopping. So she's the powerhouse here, not Mars. And you look at the sports shows, you know, there's 3 divas lined up doing sports commentary. There's 3 pretty long-legged, long-haired girls lining up doing political commentary. They've lost the men, the old men, the young men, they're all gone. It's all about Venus, huh? It permeates the consciousness. So this conjunction may not be quite what Ben was thinking of, the ordinary conjunction, when Mars, you know, could afflict Venus. No, I think in this case we're going to have Venus afflicting Mars. And we're going to have some young sports guys break down and cry, some soldiers, some people give up. Mars is going to get a real dose of Venus, see what it's like, you know, to put money on the bottom. This is a circle of spirit over the cross of matter. Venus puts spiritual, non-physical things first over money. Mars is the cross, you know, over the circle. So Mars puts money and physical things before the non-physical things like love and ethics and things. So these guys are opposites. Cross of matter over the circle of spirit over the cross of matter. Huh? Okay. End of lesson. Here's our chart. I've lined up the planets just where they are. Here's the sun. The sun's going from 5 to 15 Virgo. It's going by Jupiter. Yes. In fact, as we're talking at you here if you're on a Thursday night show, the sun is on Jupiter. It's at 4 degrees. So you got a Sun-Jupiter conjunction. You know, it's like lawyers and professors and wisdoms are flying around. One of the problems of it is it's beginning to oppose Neptune. Neptune? Who's that? Neptune is the Pope. Neptune is priest, artist, doctor, musicians. Doctors? Drugs? Neptune? What we believe in? You know, here's the shiny, shiny stuff. Here's the astronomers telling you what they're doing is important. And they never use the word astrology. No. There's a lot of... Neptune has kind of ruled our country for some time. I won't get into it now. But Neptune can be quite a bad guy. Here's an oil company, a drug company. Here's a bunch of pollution. Here's the problems we need to clean up. And you're going to hear a lot about it because the sun's conjunct Jupiter, you know, and opposing Neptune. Here's the ACLU. Here's wise men. Here's real professors, not phony academics. Here's people of real wisdom standing up and saying, we've had enough of this. Stop the Roundup. Stop the spraying. Stop you guys making money, you know, at the expense of our health. That's what this is. With doctors in collusion. Well, I don't know whether you got sick because of pesticide. There's nobody doing public health anymore. Virgo's public health. I'm a public health person. That's my basic academic stuff. Anyway, here this is an opposition to Neptune, and I think you're going to have a lot of opposition to, you know, the forces of Neptune. Me, I'm still ticked off because they burned the Alexandria Library in 391 AD, and it was the religious fanatics, it was the Pope, the Catholic Church, that brought down the biggest library in the world 1 million volumes, a lot of astrology. It was heretical. It was a heresy. Burn it down. And they did. And we lost so much of it. They're still trying to burn it down. These people who believe in things, huh? Religious institutions, academic institutions. Come and join us and you'll come out more shiny and more privileged. Oh boy. Okay, enough said. It's a theme. You will see it. So we got two themes. We got the battle of wisdom over special privilege, Neptune. Why should the churches not be taxed? Now, the other thing going on, of course, the Mars-Venus conjunction. Let's look at it day by day, okay? I got this chart set up, so we're running the moon around the edge of this planetary pattern. Now, we treat these planets just like people. And as the moon goes around here once a month, it goes through one of these day periods, yeah, and it makes angles to these different people, these different planets, and that gives you the mood of the times. If you're in a Thursday night show, you're not liking these young people. No, in fact, Mars ticked you off. These young guys, too much selfishness and lust in the Thursday afternoon, the 27th. The heck with the sports stuff. And then here, about midnight, the moon opposes Venus. And we're not getting the sweets and the sugar, and we don't want all those divas all over the TV. I'm starting to object to little squeaky voices I call chipmunk voices from some of these ladies. Hard for me to listen to. Well, anyway, Thursday night you're irritated. Shut that couple up. The moon the moon sextiles Uranus here Friday morning, though, and wisdom pops out. And there's that new moon, too, that set it all off for you guys. And it gave you another month of enlightenment and brotherhood and Aquarian values and astrology. And so this Friday morning is kind of important. And even though it's a little over-emotional because of the square to the opposition to the new moon, enlightenment flows, okay, Friday morning. The moon's in Aquarius, yes, quite nice. Tightens up Friday night. There's a square to Saturn. Eek, there's laws. There's regulations. Politicians have boxed us in. You know, ugh. Happens late. Friday night, you run into those lights on the road. What is this? A traffic stop. They're checking us for seatbelts, no. DUI, no. Foreign immigrants, no. Pot, no. They're doing unlawful stops on the highway. Kamehameha, one of the first things he did was make the highways free and clear, and you could not be stopped out there and ripped off by the elites or anybody. Anyway, Saturday morning really early, here's Jupiter. Everybody's opposing Jupiter. What do you mean those lawyers said we can't have a law like that? So this is Jupiter and Saturn. Saturn's the judge, Jupiter's the lawyer. These two are at odds. Nothing's going to get done. First there's restriction, then there's expansion, and you can't do either one of them, huh? And the sad thing is a lot of people are suffering over it. Here's an opposition to the sun. That's called a full moon on Pisces. This full moon is at 6 Pisces. Yeah, it's happening Saturday morning. and it's on Neptune. Neptune's only 2 degrees off. So we've got, now full moons wobble things. They get over-emotional, you know, and so the Neptune people in our world are going to get wobbly. Yes, at the very time Jupiter opposes them. What do you mean take the tax break away from religion? Tax the churches, tax the property, tax the income. Well, yeah. Instead, you got what? Government telling us this is a religion, that's a religion. That's not a religion. That doesn't get the tax break. Cut it out. Tax them all. That'll make Neptune wobble. Doctors, oh boy. Drugs, eek. Petroleum products, chlorinated stuff. It's kind of a horror show, you know, that's been covered up by the movies and the actors on stage. The worst president we ever had, Ronald Reagan, an actor, Neptune. Neptune's great actors. Anyway, we're going to be full up with Neptune. We got a whole month while it's going to wobble away, over emotional, bigger, smaller, act ridiculous. And we got to put up with it. Bad smells. Huh. Okay. Discovery happens in the evening of Saturday the 29th. When you're through all this, you're not going to get through this full moon easily. You get some discovery and you find out some new things, but the bad smells are going to hang out as the moon goes through Pisces. Not till you get to Sunday, will it seem to get better. What, the music's too loud? The fish went rotten? Yeah, well, it settles down. There's a trine to Saturn. We'll follow the rules and regulations. Saturday night, 10 o'clock at night, or Sunday night, on the 30th. Might be a settling down, but you give yourself up to the rules. Give away your freedom for security, Ben Franklin said. And you're not going to like it too much, because even if you give your authority away, let the government govern you. Here's the South Node. This is just 3 hours later, and we need help. So this requires some extra nurturing as the moon moves into Aries, which happens, around midnight, Sunday night. Monday, moon's in Aries. We're still feeling like we need help. There's an opposition to Mercury, and we can't communicate, and it's hard to get moving, and traffic's snarled up, and this is a tough Monday, the 31st. Leave early. Expect problems. Monday night, here's a square to Pluto. Eek, a bug! A little panicky, Here's your old Pluto-Uranus square. It's drifted off a little bit, but the panickiness, and the police have out doing it again, doggone it. But after you panic out, here late, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, here's the trine to Mars and Venus. Oh boy, it's romantic. Romance is in the air. The news is full of all the young people doing their Mars-Venus dance. And there's a conjunction to Uranus here Tuesday morning on the 1st. And zap, sudden common sense pops up. Why are we spraying Roundup all over our highways? In Mexico, they just let the weeds grow. They got holly cola there, grows 6-8 feet high, stops the headlights from getting you from the other side. And if you go off the road, you have a soft landing. We don't have soft landings on the Big Island. We should let all the, clip them when they get to have trunks about 2 inches thick. But doggone, we need soft landings, not Roundup. We need weeds. Let it grow, whatever it is. Plant flowers, plant things. But don't spend money on it. They don't do that in Mexico. They're a lot smarter. Common sense approach to things, huh? We don't need Roundup. We need plants growing on the sides of our road that will help cushion our crashing cars. Cushion our crashing cars. Well, Tuesday morning you'll find out about it. You'll think, gee, was that guy right? I'm not just an astrologer, I'm a safety engineer. I've been a safety engineer longer than I have an astrologer. Well, no, about the same. Wednesday, moon goes into Taurus, starts early with a nice trine to Jupiter. Wisdom and knowing and optimism crops up Wednesday morning. Yes, and here's the sun with Pluto. The sun's trining Pluto. Discovery and optimism. Discovery happens Wednesday night. Optimism starts with some laughing Wednesday morning. Time you get to late Wednesday, midnight, or 1 or 2 in the morning Wednesday night, Thursday morning, here's a square to Mars and Venus. Hey, somebody stop that couple from doing that. We don't care how, this is the sweets soured out Wednesday night, Thursday morning for everybody else. There's a square to the new moon on Thursday. It's a little wobbly. But the moon's in Taurus. Everybody's feeling like they want to, get some goodies, and it's a gluttonous sign. Taurus is ruled by Venus, and so all this, desire for sex and stuff it hits a peak when the moon squares it, because you can't have it, and you want it a lot. So Wednesday night you could call that the peak of horniness. And it's a little wobbly Thursday morning. And as you get to the end of Taurus, here's the opposition to Saturn, and we're hating the judge and the rules and regulations and all the signs and the lines, and, who makes these rules to get guys with guns to enforce them? What kind of country are we living in here? Friday morning, the moon's in Gemini. It's a different story. There is old full moon activity here, and a square to Jupiter. We're overdoing it, and there's confusion. And the full moon is setting off this Neptune thing. What do you mean the priests are all, conniving for they got their hand in my pocket for money or sex? What do you mean the chemical companies are the same? What do you mean the oil companies are the same? What do you mean we're being deceived? We are being deceived in very subtle ways. Just watch the old movies, and you'll see. We're all been brainwashed a lot into this stuff. Goodness, the war movies, they aggrandize guys in bombers dropping bombs on innocent people. Whew. Older I get, the less I can take the Hollywood nonsense. But Friday night late, here's a trine to Mercury, and we're talking it out. We're feeling a little better about it. And we're not getting anything done Friday night. There's a square to the sun. And Saturday morning, though, sweet, look at that. There's Venus smiling away, and Mars and Uranus. So Saturday morning is going to be social and sexy. Stay in bed late. Be a friend to whoever you're with. Expect flashes of insight and common sense and brotherhood, sisterhood. What do you mean, truth? Well, Venus, could be your sister, too. Anyway, here's a real interesting, fun Saturday, September 5th for you. Continues through Sunday morning until moon goes into Cancer, and then it changes its vibes. And here on Sunday night, there's a sextile to Jupiter and a trine to Neptune. Well, maybe we should let those guys continue to spray all the rest of the spray they have left. We don't want them to throw it away just because we found out it's toxic. Eek! Geez, let the weeds grow and see what happens. Put a little seawater along the edge of the cement if you don't want weeds breaking cement. A strip of seawater for 2-3 feet, and let them all grow and make a soft landing. That's the way to handle our highway problem. Okay, Mercury squared. We're not going to talk about it. Sorry. It's late Sunday night, early Monday morning. But we got something done. We got a plan Monday. When you go off to work on the 7th, you'll feel better about it all. It's kind of the way it is this week. First week in September 2015. As usual, I got a lot more to present than time. Cassius Clay, born on my day, my birthday, and Ben Franklin said, "My mind makes appointments my body can't keep." I had a big rap on what should government do. Short of it is safety and health. That's all government should do. They're not there to do all these other things our government is doing. Well, listen, to fix astrology, I don't think we want to study people's charts so much. I spent 15 years teaching you how to study people's charts, and lately I got to tell you, I got a copy of the Mountain Astrologer, and it's full of Neptune people, and they're all, psychologists kind of. They're going to give you all sorts of strokes. No, you don't want to do that. Look, what's important is, like Ben Franklin said, the lucky hour. And the way to study astrology is to get the app. Yes, Get the app for your iPhone. It's about when they leave. Here's my latest spacecraft thing. I was going to write a book. When to launch your spacecraft. Look, if you get the app, it's $5-10. You know, you can start studying anything you start. I mean, if you want to, I get up and I go into the kitchen to do a chore. You know, I can go one button on the app on my iPhone, see the chart of now. You know, I can leave it there and then get up and go in the kitchen and pour the such and see what happens. SkyMirrorAstrology.com. Go there, get the app for your iPhone, your iPad. It's cheap, and then use it. Not for people. Use it for anything. Small things. When I go for a walk, I check the app and see what the chart looks like, and then I do it. And when you start things on a chart, and you're going to learn astrology the best way. It's a wake-up call. The money people want you to be asleep and just buy their drugs and all their phony stuff and go to work. So, you know, this app, you don't have to study astrology. It's not difficult. Too many of these doctor types have gotten into it now. All these psychologists, oh yeah, we're going to give you counseling. They can't predict what happens for you next year, and they don't know how. They're counselors. They're ruining astrology, you know. But you don't have to do that. Wake up. It's just $5 or $10 for your iPhone, and you can start playing with it, and you will learn it so fast. I mean, it's amazing. SkyMirrorAstrology.com. Again, a big mahalo to all the Hawaiians who are opposing monster telescopes on our mountains on Maui, Ahali'ikala, and on Mauna Kea. These mountains have spirits. They are sacred places, but moreover, these are institutions of death. They're owned by the DoD. The university and NASA have very large Department of Defense contracts.